Hey folks, welcome back to another video. Recently I did a little video about David Pitcher's 2D intersecting circles puzzle, TESI, which is this one here. During that video I mentioned about some other intersecting circle puzzles that are out there and popular. Probably the most notable series of these is from VeryPuzzle, and it's called the Geranium series. As it happens, I have a bunch of these, a whole stack of them in fact, so I thought I'd do a little series of a few videos talking about these puzzles and showing them off a bit. I think 2D intersecting circle type twisty puzzles don't get a lot of attention in the twisty puzzling community. You do see them here and there, but for example, out of the whole Geranium series, there's only the original Geranium has a tutorial on YouTube in English from our line of the Twisty Puzzles forum. It's a great tutorial, but it'd be nice if we had more resources and more interest in these puzzles in the English-speaking world. So I'm hoping to highlight these, and maybe some of you might spot this and think to give these puzzles a try. They do offer something unique compared to the 3D puzzles, and they are certainly challenging. And I'll show you kind of why they are so tough. So this is the puzzle that started it all. This is the original Geranium, although this is the second version of it. So they had made the original Geranium in 2013. Then in 2018, they refined the design, and they changed the shape of the acrylic baseboard that holds the puzzle. They made the circles bigger and easier to turn. And I believe they also changed the molds for the pieces so that they could get some better movement out of the puzzle. So I was really, really excited to get this because I heard about the Geranium through the Twisty Puzzles forum and reading old threads, and I found Arline, who's well known for having very good tutorials on YouTube under the name Twisty Puzzling. He had a tutorial for the Geranium, and it was 2 hours and 15 minutes long and looked very intense. And I thought, this is the puzzle for me. I really want to check this out. Plus it looks beautiful, this kind of mosaic type 2D pattern. So after a while, I pulled some money together, and I went to work and managed to track down quite a large chunk of the series, although I'm still missing a few. However, I have to say I was a little bit disappointed with this original Geranium. I think I've just been unlucky. I have a bunch of stuff from VeryPuzzle these days, and by and large, the puzzles are really high quality. But this one has some issues. So as you can see here, whenever I try to turn the circle with the red, green, and a bit of yellow, there's a catching that occurs between this acrylic cover and the stickers on that circle. And it basically makes me afraid to properly use and scramble the puzzle, because no matter what I do, even when I've loosened this cover as far as it'll go, I've made adjustments, I've gone in, cleaned the glue off, and put the sticker down again, it just catches every single time. And I've asked VeryPuzzle for help. They recommended trimming the stickers down so that they don't stick up, which I'll try that with this purple one, although that wasn't sticking up the first time I tried to fix it. But I just can't seem to find a way to turn it without having that kind of sticker damage occurring. So I may try to get a replacement at some point, because this is the original Geranium. I wanted this to be the first one that I scrambled and solved, especially because there is a tutorial that I could check if I get stuck. But anyway, in light of that problem, I'm going to show you how the puzzle works on these other circles down here. So as you can see, there's 5 intersecting circles on this puzzle, so there's a lot more complexities here in the design than the TESI with its 2 circles, so quite a difference there. The TESI is also shallow cut, right? The 2 circles have a relatively small area of intersection, so only a few pieces get scrambled and misoriented when you turn them. However, on the Geranium, this is a deep cut puzzle, right? So if we look at these 2 turnable circles down here, there's a much larger area of intersection, and there are a lot more cuts in the Geranium, so there's a lot more pieces in here. And when I turn the circle, let's try this one, you can see that a very large number of pieces get shuffled around. Actually, let's go this way. I think it'll be clearer to see. So just by turning like that, I moved this entire chunk of blue and purple and the center over to this circle. So like with deep cut 3D twisty puzzles, a single move can cause a lot of damage. And given that the sequences you need to use in the Geranium to make progress are quite long and intricate, it's a very, very, very challenging puzzle. You can easily end up in a situation where you make a couple of mistakes and that's it. You're basically back to square one. You won't be able to find a way to easily get back to where you were before, and you'll have to start at the beginning. So, in fact, line and others on the forums who have solved this puzzle have seemed to agree that probably this is even harder than the infamous Aton star, generally considered the most difficult 3D Twisty puzzle. So the Geranium is a tough one, and as you'll see when I show you some of the others in the lineup here, it's far from the scariest of the Geranium puzzles. And now I have a little bit of trouble with alignment here. There we go. Now, as I said, the movement on this Geranium is a little bit disappointing. Other people have had better experiences with the second lineup of Geranium, so I don't know what happened. Maybe this one was under lubed, or just the acrylic was not put together particularly well, or maybe there were some errors in the manufacturing, but I just can't seem to shake this stiff movement and that sticker damage problem on the red face and purple face over there. So I'm not entirely sure what's the best way to go forward, but probably instead of the Geranium being my first of the Geraniums to solve, I'll try the Geranium V, which is the next one I'm going to show you actually. But I think it's safe to assume that I'm an anomaly here. I haven't seen a lot of people reporting these kind of problems with this puzzle, particularly since they remade it in 2018. So I think you can safely rest assured that I'm an outlier here, and you can pick it up for yourself and you won't have much to worry about. Anyway, so I'll talk a little bit about how the puzzle is composed here. So you can see there's a number of different piece types to deal with in the Geranium. So we have a center, which has 5 colors on it and therefore has orientation. So the center needs to be turned in the correct direction so that these crescent shapes will spawn off of it in the right way. Then we have these small triangles, and there's a number of different small triangles around the puzzle in different locations. So we have them around the bottoms of the circles, we have them tucked up against neighboring circles, and at the ends of these points in the middle, and adjoining the center as well. They can all be scrambled, as far as I know. I don't think any of them stay attached at their point of origin. I think in the beginning stages of people learning about the Geranium, it was thought that these small triangles in the bottom edge here couldn't be moved, but it turned out that you can scramble those as well. Alongside those, we have a couple of different types of pentagonal pieces. We have this more recognizable pentagonal shape here. There's a few of those dotted around the puzzle. And then we have this squashed pentagon as well, another 5-sided shape. Then we have these long, kind of almost look like the roof on a house sort of pieces. And we have these pointy, oddly shaped stem pieces. These long pieces tend to get in the way quite a lot. They cause a lot of blocking. And that adds even more challenge to the solve. And one of the major steps of solving the Geranium, as I understand it, is to free up as many circles for free turning as possible. And that involves shuffling some of these blocking pieces around so they don't get in the way. So really this puzzle has everything. It's got deep cuts. It's got a lot of types of pieces. It's got a lot of pieces full stop. It's got orientation concerns with the centers. It's got small pieces that are difficult to shuffle around. It's got long pieces that introduce bandaging elements. So everything that you would think of to include in a challenging twisty puzzle is all here. So for that reason, I think if you're looking for something to really push you to the limit of your solving, then the Geranium series is a good place to look. And even this one, the original Geranium, like I said, is far from the biggest and scariest of these. But still, it'll give you plenty of solving action for your money. One way or another, I'm going to find a way to get this puzzle working properly, and I'm really looking forward to solving it. But in the meantime, I do have some other Geraniums that I can play with, and I'm going to show you a couple of those. Since I have a bunch of Geraniums, I plan to split this up into a few videos rather than try and do a huge info dump all at once. So next up, this is what the outside of the Geranium boxes looks like, by the way. Just a plain black cardboard with the VeryPuzzle logo. And on the back here, they give you some info about the particular puzzle. So this one is the Geranium V. You can see it says toy/twisty puzzle. It's 28 by 29 centimeters and designed and manufactured in China. And the boxes can be a little bit hard to open. This one's not too bad. And everything is nicely sort of well protected with bits of foam and everything. And here we go. This is the Geranium V. there's a lot of interesting things about this puzzle. So here we go. Once again, we have 5 intersecting circles. But if you compare it to the regular geranium, you will probably notice the difference right away, which is that, well, first of all, the Geranium V is much bigger, right? Substantially bigger than the original geranium. Both do have 5 circles intersecting, but the Geranium V does not have these deep intersections, right? The cuts are shallower on the Geranium V. And we also have, instead of that multicolored centerpiece on the regular geranium, we have a single pink pentagon in the center, and we have some short rectangular pieces connected to it along with some additional triangles. The other aspect is, if you look closely along here, we do have what looks like it could have been these kind of long blocking pieces that we had in the geranium, these guys, but they've all been unbandaged. They've been split apart. So now these pieces can be broken up and scrambled along with everything else, and so there won't be as much blocking on this puzzle. That means things get more thoroughly scrambled, but it may also relieve some of the pressure of the bandaging, and that introduces some trouble in a geranium solve, but here you'll have different kinds of problems, I guess. The other aspect of this is that normally with a shallow cut puzzle like this one, you might expect that it would take a long time to get all these pieces scrambled, and that is still true. But this puzzle is hiding an interesting secret. Now I'm going to have to look at my reference sheet here to make sure that I do this right, because I don't want to scramble this monstrosity on myself. But basically, there are hidden circles within this puzzle that allow for even deeper scrambling. And we're in a solved state right now, so I should be able to more easily transition into... let's see. Okay, so I think if I go like this, yeah, and then if we go one turn on this face, this one's a bit stiff. Hang on. Alignment is important on this puzzle because there are lots of tiny pieces to move around. Yep, and we shuffle this over here. And then we turn the green one around. Go that way. Seems a bit more friendly. Okay. And you can see we're starting to form an additional circle here. You can see the outline of it. So now, what's the last bit? I think I need to... How does this work? Okay, did I make a mistake? Maybe not. No, I think I'm okay. I think I just got sort of... Oh yeah, there we go. That's how easy it was. So now you can see right here in the center, we've created an additional hidden circle. And throughout the solve, at least in the Chinese language tutorial I've seen on the MF8 forums, you're going to be using these hidden circles to move pieces around the puzzle. And the existence of these circles deep within the puzzle itself allows for deeper scrambling and some additional challenge. So it defies our expectations a little bit of what might come from a shallow cut puzzle, right? Now we have the ability to create internal circles that introduce new properties into the puzzle. Now they're a little bit difficult to turn. Okay, I don't want to push it too far here. I haven't really played with this puzzle too much, so it's not quite broken in. But you can see that inner circle is indeed turnable. But from behind the camera here, and with not a great grip on the puzzle, it's a little bit tough. Now, the puzzle has 5-fold symmetry, so as far as I can understand, you're able to form these circles in 5 different places around the puzzle. So there's a lot of ways to form these hidden circles to help you advance your solve along. And now let's just see if I can get it back. That's the other question. Okay, so I'll do that. Then, oh gosh. I don't want to chop out this yellow, so I think this needs to go back. Yeah, like so. And then we bring the blue back together, like this. And then the purple goes back. Am I aligned? Maybe not quite. There we go. See, when things are aligned, it turns reasonably well. As I said with the Tezzy, I don't mind a little bit of friction because on a puzzle like this, if things were just whizzing around willy-nilly, you could really get into trouble quickly. And this puzzle doesn't have any of the sticker damage issues that I have with the regular Geranium, so I'm happy to say that. But yeah, this puzzle is really intriguing to me. I love this aspect of the emergent additional circles, and that they seem to be useful throughout the solve. The unbandaging of those long pieces, plus those hidden circles, means that you can really scramble the heck out of this thing. I think the challenge is going to be substantial. And I do like that it's a bit bigger, a bit chunkier, and the circles are a bit more fully formed with the shallow cut. So it's a very different look from the Geranium, even though they have a clear common lineage. They both have their own attractions visually. It's worth noting as well that the Geranium also comes in Geranium Plus form, and in the Geranium Plus, it's all the same except that they unbandage these pieces in the same way that they're unbandaged on the V. And you'll be able to see that. I don't have a Geranium Plus in that small size, but I do have the very large Super Geranium Plus, which I'll show you in a subsequent video. And there you can see what it looks like in the Plus versions where they've unbandaged those stem pieces. So that's the Geranium V and its hidden secrets. It's a really beautiful puzzle. There's also a limited edition white plastic version on VeryPuzzle's website, which I'm very tempted by. Although I think the visibility and the contrast of the pieces is much better on the black plastic, so this is probably more practical for solving. Unfortunately, they do not currently carry the Geranium V on VeryPuzzle's website itself, but I found this one at the HK Now store, so they are still floating around. And I think there have been rumors from VeryPuzzle on the forums in the past that they are going to reintroduce the Geranium series at some point. Right now they have, I think, 5 models left that you can get from the website, and the more popular ones have been gone for a while. All right, so that's the Geranium V. For now, I'm going to stop here, and this is your first taste of the Geranium series. In the next video, I'm going to show off a couple of unusual variants in the series, and then in the next video after that, I'll talk about the Super Geraniums and the largest and scariest of the Geraniums that I have, the Geranium W. Okay, so I hope that was informative, and as you can see, these puzzles have a lot to offer. Don't take my complaints about the original Geranium as gospel. I still think this is a remarkable puzzle. Hopefully I'll find a way to get it living up to its true potential. If not, then I'll seek out a replacement, and one way or another, I'm really looking forward to getting around to solving this. And I think every major Twisty puzzle collector should get at least one of the Geranium series and give it a crack, because I think it's, you know, substantially challenging, and it'll certainly be a very different feeling from the 3D puzzles that you're used to. All right, so I'll see you in the next video, and I'll show you through some more of the wackier side of the Geranium series. See you then.